What if the world we're watching isn't reality at all, but a performance? Not chaos, but choreography. The Bible tells us plainly in Ephesians 6:12, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world. That verse doesn't describe randomness. It describes structure. For thousands of years, occult mystery schools from ancient Egypt to Babylon, from Greece to Rome, have taught that true power never rules openly. It rules through symbols, initiation, and ritual theater. Freemasonry would later preserve this idea, openly declaring that the initiate must learn to see beyond the surface. Because to be uninitiated means the world is just accidental, but it isn't. Today, that ancient theater is no longer hidden in temples or lodges. It is broadcast globally through your television, on your phone, through your computer. Politics, media scandals, cultural wars, viral outrage, characters introduced, conflicts escalated, resolution always delayed. Shakespeare wrote, all the world is a stage, and the Bible warned us why. The question isn't whether events feel scripted. The question is, who's writing the scripts? When you study ritual geography, how monuments, bridges, and obelisks were placed and then moved again, you notice that this is done with mathematical precision. You begin to see a pattern. London Bridge, Egyptian obelisk, moved, replaced, transplanted across empires and through time. Vatican monuments, the Washington, D.C., these are not random construction projects, friends and family. They mirror ancient power grids, once dedicated to pagan gods, what our God called the high places. Isaiah 47:13 speaks directly to this system. Let now the astrologers, the stargazers, the monthly procrastinators stand up and save thee. Timing matters, location matters, the narrative matters. In this video, we're going to examine how the principle appears today through some symbolism, through timing, through placement, through characters. We're going to look closely at how public figures and organizations, Erika Kirk and Turning Point USA, may function less as isolated events and more as scenes within a larger production. This is not about left versus right. This is not about heroes or villains. This is about Satan himself transforming into an angel of light. 2 Corinthians 11:14, which means deception doesn't announce itself as evil. It arrives polished, familiar, convincing. This is about perception management. Because when you understand the occult principle of controlled opposition, a concept openly taught in esoteric teachings, you begin to recognize something extremely unsettling. What feels organic may be manufactured. What feels spontaneous might be rehearsed. And what feels real may only be a scene that they want you to watch. So welcome back, friends and family, to Starkey Farmstead. Obviously, I'm going all the way in with this Erika Kirk nonsense at AmFest 2025. My name is Samantha Starkey. I'm the owner operator of a 2-acre farmstead. I also recently published a book, Growing Under a Poisoned Sky. I will link that. I hope all of you, if you do celebrate it, have an amazing Merry Christmas. So I'm going to do my best to go quickly for you guys because I know people have things to do today. But before I get into Erika Kirk, I want you to hear something. So stay with me, friends, because once you see the stage, once you recognize the symbols, Once you understand the geography, you'll never be able to unsee it.
There is a massive spiritual point behind the recreation of Israel. Most of the world's power will continue to return westward at an accelerating pace to where it began, the Middle East. The heart of the Middle East is Israel. The heart of Israel is Jerusalem. The heart of Jerusalem is the Jewish temple. The Bible says that Satan is the prince of this world. The Bible also says that Satan's greatest desire is to be worshipped as the God of all religions in the temple of God. We are very close to the rebuilding of that temple. There is no way that a Jewish temple could be rebuilt in the middle of the Muslim world without a Jewish state. There is no way that a Jewish state could have been established in that world without the UN creating it in response to the Holocaust. There is also no way that the Holocaust or Israel could have occurred without political Zionism. Here is a mystery. Evil has no choice but to follow Bible prophecy. This gives all those who follow the Bible hope for the future. It also poses a major problem for atheists and agnostics. People in these camps blame God or people's idea of God for most of the evil in this world. It would never occur to these groups that all this time it was Satan manipulating people and trying to imitate God who was responsible for most of the evil in this world. Ultimately, Satan is God's tool. For all those who think that the Bible was written by secret societies to fool the world into believing that God is in control of it, keep one thing in mind. The New World Order couldn't control all aspects of one major event. Do you really think that secret societies could arrange hundreds of events over thousands of years? The origin of the evil in this world today is not Freemasonry or Frankism, the Illuminati or the Rothschilds, America or Israel, or any other group or movement. The source of the evil in this world today is sin. Sin is doing what is wrong or not doing what is right according to God's rules. The problem with God's rules is not the rules. It's that no one in the physical or spiritual worlds are inclined to follow them. Satan got humanity to break God's rules through lies. People join secret societies because they think they will not die and because they think that special knowledge will make them be like gods, knowing good and evil. These two lies from Satan have not changed in over 6,000 years. We need to prepare for the worst and hope for the best, starting with the preparation of our souls. There are plenty of guidelines on what to do that are prudent and not paranoid. Your elderly parents or grandparents knew what to do. You wouldn't call them paranoid. As you prepare, count your blessings. A final word to Christians. Did you think you could elect Jesus into office? The New World Order owns both sides of the political spectrum.
Yep.
The heart of man is full of evil. It's time to be more socially active and less politically dependent, never forgetting the gospel of Christ.
The Americans round up people from the nearby town and force them to witness the horrors that have been committed in their name. 18-year-old Renata Simon.
I could hardly believe what I was seeing. They had piled up the corpses of people who had died. The smell was just too much. I couldn't take it anymore. But the GI shouted at me, "You Hitler, Fräulein! Here, look, look!"
Both America and Israel were dedicated to God. Did you ever think that Satan wouldn't have a plan for these two countries? It's time for reform instead of rejection or blind religion. pray for our countries and institutions, and work to reform them. We can get a reprieve, just as Nineveh did.
Amen.
A final word to those who are still on the fence. The devil owns the fence. The devil's greatest trick is to appear as an angel of light. He attracts you to him and blinds you with confusing issues like astrotheology and Bible inconsistency, even though consistent copies of the Bible are being discovered all the time. It's time to stop the lies. Tell me, have you ever lied? That makes you a liar, doesn't it? Have you ever stolen anything? Even some candy as a kid? That makes you a thief, doesn't it? Out of your own heart, you admit that you're a lying thief. You're no better than any member of any secret society. You deserve the punishment that you demand all the tyrants of history get. Do you want to defeat the New World Order? Do so one soul at a time, starting with your own. It's time to embrace the truth. Admit that you're a sinner and that you can't reconcile your life with God on your own. Believe that Jesus Christ is God's Son who died for your sins.
I'm going to link this for you guys because it is a fabulous video. But I needed to show you that because I saw a video. I'm fixing to show you. DG got a podcast. I love him. So cute. But he says, I believe Erika Kirk is a Freemason. She's not. And he got this one thing wrong because it's a little deeper than that. There was Freemasons around her because these secret societies work together. All right, guys, let me explain it to you like this. To understand how theater can be used to shape reality, we have to go back, far back to ancient cities the Bible warns us about. Pergamon. I did that video yesterday. Erika Kirk, Nicki Minaj, and the throne of Satan. In Revelation 2:13, Jesus speaks directly to this place saying, I know thy works. I know where thou dwellest, even where Satan's seat is. Pergamon was not just another city. It was a center of power, of knowledge, of ritual, and performance. They had an amphitheater that could seat thousands of people down the hill to watch theater. Okay, so this was one of the greatest cultural capitals of the ancient world. It was home to massive temples, mystery religions, and one of the most influential theaters of antiquity, carved directly into a hillside overlooking the city. And then the Zeus's throne or Satan's throne overlooked all of that. All right. So think of that symbology. You've got Satan's throne and you've got this massive hill that they turn into an amphitheater. Why? So that Zeus could sit above and watch the people be entertained, enter in and be contained. That is what you're seeing on your screen right there. Theater in Pergamon was not entertainment the way we think of it today. It was instruction. It was conditioning. It was ritualized storytelling designed to shape how people understood the gods, authority, morality, and their place in the world. And that is exactly what you saw Erika Kirk try to do with Nicki Minaj. I know your heart, Nicki. Say what you want. Well, the Bible tells us the heart is wicked. Nicki Minaj has an alter ego, right? Everybody knows the story. This woman is demon possessed. Now, I'm not saying that someone can't be saved and can't be redeemed, but once you're saved and redeemed, you get rid of your old life. If you're saved and redeemed, you don't have your hoe clothes in your closet still from when you used to go partying. You get rid of them. If you're saved and redeemed and you were once an addict, you don't keep your needles. You don't keep your spoons. You don't keep your straws. You throw that crap away because you've been redeemed. Nicki Minaj has not tossed anything. She's just adding a new title to everything else she already is. Plays were used to dramatize divine order. There were heroes, villains, sacrifices, betrayals, all acted out before the masses. So you've got Erika Kirk, the hero, the heroine, right? You've got Nicki Minaj, which is the redeemed. You've got Charlie Kirk, who was the one that they sacrificed, who betrayed him, right? The audience doesn't just watch this, guys, they absorb it. These performances reinforced hierarchy. They were teaching people obedience to unseen powers. Look at their hand signals on your screen right now. Look at that. They normalized suffering as necessary, chaos as inevitable, and salvation as something granted only through the system itself. Right? Come to Turning Point USA. We can redeem you. We can save you. Mystery schools operating in Pergamon understood something very specific. People who emotionally experience a story are easier to guide than people who simply hear commands. And this is where some researchers and critics of modern power structures begin to draw uncomfortable parallels. There are those who believe that the families and priesthoods who controlled ritual theater in places like Pergamon didn't simply disappear. They adapted. Empires fell, religions shifted, languages changed. But the method remained. Control the story, you control the people. Over centuries, these traditions moved through Rome, through medieval guilds, through the Renaissance, patron systems, eventually reemerging in modern forms of influence through theater, cinema, television, politics, media. Some claim that these elite bloodlines that you see on your screen, their families have historically been tied to performance, rituals, finance, and governance. They can be traced through transitions all the way to modern institutions and public figures in 2025. Whether one sees this as a literal genealogy or symbolic inheritance, the idea is the same. The role of the actor never went away. The stage only got bigger.
This here, the video of Erika Kirk touching what I guess we're supposed to believe is Charlie Kirk's hands. And I know based on some other, theories that have come out more recently, people do believe that this is Charlie Kirk. I'm still very skeptical about it. But regardless of where you fall, there's no question that this is Erika Kirk's hand. And I remember when this first came out, this was seen in the video and from still shots. And this symbol right here, and to be responsible, I'm just going to say it appears to be the symbol for Saturn. It appears. I want to remind everybody once again that Erika Kirk is part Jewish. That I think came out more recently, but she is part Jewish. What does that mean? Their Sabbath is on Saturday. Saturn Day. Their Sabbath is on Saturn Day. You say, well, she's a Christian. Yes, great. She proclaims to be a Christian. However, Shabbat Shalom. Her and Charlie Kirk, we can all agree, or I hope we can all agree, were a little bit, I would say, different Christians than some of the rest of us. Not that they love the Lord any more or less. I don't know that for a fact. I'm not here to claim that as an absolute. But what I can say is when you're writing books about the Jewish Sabbath and et cetera, and the 7-day mount and these things that these people believed in and the preachers that Charlie Kirk placed around him.
Oh, very good. DD got a podcast. That brings me into my next thing. When Charlie Kirk first started, when he first started Turning Point USA, he preached separation of church and state. Go back and look it up. Go find him and Dave Rubin from around like 2015. They were laughing. Charlie was more of a libertarian. He preached separation of church and state until in 2019 when he met none other than Rob McCoy. Charlie Kirk added Rob McCoy into his entourage, and by 2021, Charlie Kirk had started up Turning Point USA Faith and added over 30 different pastors to the payroll.
It just makes it a lot harder to just strictly see you as a follower of Christ. It seems like there are some other things attached to your label, if you catch my drift. Right? Now let's read the meaning of Saturn. What does it say here? Saturn is the sixth. Interesting number, right? Saturn is the sixth planet from the sun and the second largest planet in the solar system after Jupiter. Named after the Roman god of agriculture, Saturn, its astronomical symbol represents the god's sickle. Saturn has a prominent ring system, reminds me of all the rings that Erika Kirk often wears on her hands, which, by the way, she since addressed it and said that those rings are the initials, two of those rings, the M and the G, are the initials of her children, the children whose faces we've never seen before. That consists of ring system that consists of 9. There's that number again, as above, so below. 6 and 9 are the same number. Continuous main rings and 3, right? Discontinuous arcs composed mostly of ice particles with a smaller amount of rocky debris and dust. The Romans considered Saturnus the equivalent of the Greek god Cronus. The Greeks had made the outermost planet sacred to Cronus, and the Romans followed suit. All right, let's see what this last line says. In modern Greek, the planet retains its ancient name Cronus or Kronos. All right. So do with that what you will, but this is what was seen. And I believe she has 2 of them on both hands.
And I want to show you something else that he
Saturn
did.
worshipers. Another one is Doja Cat. Doja Cat is extremely talented as well. I think she's very gifted of a musician. I do. I think part of it is due to the record label. For those of you that don't know, record labels write the songs. They have like a sweatshop, if you will, of writers. All right. Who's somebody else? SZA. SZA has an entire song called Saturn. Could it get more obvious than that one? And a lot of you all would definitely appreciate this one. The one and only, one of the biggest and largest artists in the world, and I also find her to be extremely talented. Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift has a song with the industry plant Ice Spice. You know, the same Ice Spice who now that's one artist that is not gifted to save her life. I don't know how she made it. Actually, I do. It wasn't talent. She is an industry plant, allegedly.
So he shows you all that. You should go watch it. It's a pretty good show. And then he shows everybody the stars. People were talking about, you know, this. I finally realized, because there were so many flags at this event, I didn't know which flag people were talking about. Look at this flag. 33 is the number of Masons.
Point out when it comes to this photo. Put the magic number in the chat. It's a number we've been talking about on this channel for almost 5 years.
Now, I've done my own research. I put everything I show y'all in description, so you can go there and look. There was an American flag with 33 stars, but that is so old. So let me show you guys something I think is going to blow your mind. Welcome to the stage, Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton. Now, before I show you this man who is literally going to compare Charlie Kirk's life and death to Jesus Christ, I am not making that up. I'm going to let you listen. Look at the star. And then notice what comes out right here in the center. So this is a spiritual portal, and that is a demon. I don't care what anybody says. I know what I'm looking at.
If we don't do the...
Look at that. I dare someone to type in the comment section, that's not a demon, Sam. Okay, then what is it? Because it's got horns. In fact, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 sets of horn. And what is this? This is, you guys. Today, the amphitheater is not carved in stone, baby. It's in your pocket. It's on your screen. Screens deliver scripted conflict 24 hours a day on demand to you. These are carefully framed outrage, predictable cycles of scandal and redemption. It is theater at its best. Characters rise, characters fall. Charlie Kirk rose, he fell, and now Erika, like the phoenix, is coming up out of the ashes. Yeah. And the audience, just like in Pergamon, is encouraged to react emotionally rather than critically. Look at that stage. The Bible warns us repeatedly about this right here, this kind of deception. Ecclesiastes 1:19. The thing that hath been, it is that which shall be, and there is no new thing under the sun. The technology is not new. The costumes are not new. This play is ancient. Pergamon shows us that when power merges ritual, storytelling, authority, and reality itself becomes malleable. And that raises a disturbing question for us. Are we living history, or are we watching it being performed for us again? It's the same story being told in a different location with new actors and actresses that have bloodlines to the ones that started it in Pergamon, Turkey, in the 1st century.
Right things in the next 4 years, we could easily be back in the same situation we were with another Joe Biden or Obama.
Anybody else want to tell me this is not a portal opening? Come on, guys. Come on now.
We need to balance our budget and cut our debt so that you guys are not paying the debt off for the rest of your life. If they can't beat you to the ballot box, they come after you with the legal system. If we have the opportunity to get our ideas out, we're going to win a lot of elections. There is truly hope for the future because of what you all are doing, for the involvement of getting new voters and getting younger voters involved in this process.
Really? Do we really need the pyrotechnics and the smoke and the lighting? It is theater. What feels organic might be engineered. What feels spontaneous might be rehearsed.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you. Well, after that, I kind of want Greg Gutfield back out here for another hour and a half. That was awesome. So, I want to start off with a simple statement. Adversity is not defeat. Adversity is not defeat. And I think we can see it all around us. And I have a couple of stories. Look at Erika Kirk. How many of y'all were here last year? Raise your hand. A lot. How many of y'all were here last year and thought we'd be coming back without Charlie Kirk? Raise your hand. I would guess nobody thought that. We never know what's going to happen in life, and obviously there was a lot of adversity for Erika Kirk in the last 4 or 5 months. She lost her husband, had to take over this organization.
You hear what he said? Over the last 4 or 5 months. He was killed September 10th, 2025. It's been 3 months, but they want you to think it's been longer for some reason. Probably to cover up the fact that she's literally been everywhere doing everything but taking care of her kids. But are those their kids? I mean, I do have to ask that because there's no pregnancy pictures of her.
Young children, and every day deals with adversity. And then, of course, Charlie and his life. I knew Charlie. I met him when he was 20. Thought he was a pretty normal guy. I met him at...
Let me fast forward. It's boring.
Every day as he challenged people to be different. He challenged them in their faith. And he dealt with adversity. And I want to come back to Charlie, but obviously his life ended in adversity. Charlie died he was almost 32, I think that's correct. There was somebody else that was on earth that accomplished a lot in a short time, just like Charlie. His name was Jesus. He died at 33. And obviously he did a lot of amazing things. He healed people. He proclaimed the gospel of life. He changed people's lives while he was here. But obviously, lots of adversity, and he died in a pretty tragic way. And yet, in that short period of life, most people live more than those years, 33 years or 31 years. And yet, he accomplished something that changed the world forever. Adversity is not defeat.
Did y'all catch that? At the end, you couldn't tell, was he referencing Jesus or was he referencing Charlie? Matthew 24:24. For thou shalt rise false Christ and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders. Let me start over. For there shall arise false Christ and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders, insomuch that, if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect. Stay with me, folks, because once you see the stage, once you recognize those symbols, once you understand the geography and the end game, you will never be able to unsee it. This right here is really quite cool. This is from 1933, almost 100 years ago. This is Moloch, Baal's ceremony. It was actually done at the Chicago State Fair or sometime right around there, the World's Fair at Soldier Field. Unfortunately, a lot of people are like, oh, look, the Jewish people are worshiping Moloch. This was a pageant, the biggest that was ever done, showing 3,000 years of Judaism and what the Jewish people believed and went through. And this was just part of it. But what's weird in this clip is it honestly looks like this is a live child. That is real fire. This is concerning. This doesn't mean this is what Jewish people do today. I'm just saying when they were performing this actually, it looks like it could have been real. Watch.
And man conforms. And it profoundly inserted Jewry into the fair's subtextual but omnipresent narrative of the march of human progress. Weisskall's path as a producer was not completely free of obstructions. The first obstacle to the romance's articulation of nationalist Jewish identity and purpose was a dominant trend in liberal Reform Judaism toward embrace of American individualism as opposed to nationalism, and the figuration of Jewish identity as a chosen religious confession. And this ideation of Jewish identity, focused on cultural assimilation and profession of faith, was on permanent exhibit at the fair in the Jewish booth at the Hall of Religion. And this other conception of Jewish identity, which was focused on cultural assertion and a revival of Jewish national life, became, in fact, the dominant representation of Jewish Day at the fair. A special day in which Jews as an ethnic group, like other ethnic groups, were given focus. Now, luckily, Weisskall wrote about this in his autobiography.
Well, I'll link this. You can go watch the whole thing. That's just real creepy to me, friends. That was real creepy to me. We're almost done, friends and family. Like I said, I know it's Christmas Eve. People have things they want to go and do, but I do think it's important that we understand that all these videos I've been doing about the old guides, it's coming back. So this is important that we watch just this clip.
Letter. Historical and current events are being influenced by evil to make the appearance of the Antichrist highly probable within a generation. Though the world is not yet in an apocalyptic state, the forces of organized evil affect us all now and must be resisted like never before. This film of evil. If you're a Christian, and even if you're not, you should keep watching in order to reduce the effects of evil. Presentations in the past. Once you know how we got here and then compare our present situation to what the Bible said would eventually happen, you might be interested in its solutions. If you think this is all fluff, then please consider the following question. If the Bible's explanation of evil is just a myth, then why are so many anti-Christians doing everything they can to fulfill that myth? Looks like we should study the New World Order. The New World Order is a religious power that has always been pulling the world to a definite conclusion away from God. Recently, that pull has been getting progressively stronger.
Yes. This is so interesting, and we are going to get in it really deep. But I wanted to show you guys, when you're watching this stuff with Erika Kirk unfold in front of you, yeah, it's all part of the plan, baby. They are forcing it. They're forcing the end of the world to come because their God is not our God. They firmly believe that they are going to win. There are people, Mormons, and these secret societies that believe Satan was Jesus's brother. He got the short end of the stick, boo-boo. He's not bad. And that is what we're dealing with. And you're seeing the great fall away. You're seeing the great confusion as people grab on to theories that make absolutely no sense and yoke themselves back under the laws that they don't need. Jesus is all that you need. I'm so heartbroken for the amount of people who have fallen for this TPUSA thing. I was that close until the Lord ripped the scales off my eyes. And that's what I pray for people. But when I realized that I was not seeing it for what it was, these people don't even know to question it, if that makes sense. So that's why I have to make videos like this. I have to make videos like this to perk their interest, to make them question everything that they're seeing where Turning Point is. You could basically call Turning Point USA a megachurch without a centralized church body. Think of it. They've got 5 million subscribers, so 5 million members that pay tithes by subscription fees, as well as sending donations and buying merchandise. Erika is the televangelist wife, Tammy Faye Baker reference right there, whose husband has tragically died, and now she's going to assume the mantle. They even do something called pastor summits at TPUS Faith to train up new pastors to take back territory on the 7 Mountain Mandate. So I hope that this answers some of you guys' questions that you have. I know a lot of people keep saying, well, how does this make sense? Because you've got all these different groups. That's why I played that video I just did. None of them know what the other one's doing, but the people at the center of each strand know exactly how it's going to work. It's not for you and I to necessarily know who or why. We just need to know what the end of it is. Right? And that is people like Peter Thiel using Palantir as a police state. It is the Sharia law banking system coming in and controlling your cryptocurrency. You are living in a time, friends and family, where the Antichrist entire system is being set up block by block, piece by piece. You're living in the greatest time in history other than when Jesus walked this earth. It is, if you are a Christian, this is a beautiful time to be alive, baby. We're literally fixing to see the end of everything. Finish it. Come back for 1,000 years with the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. Can I get a come on, Jesus? And by the way, I'm going to sing Happy Birthday, Jesus tomorrow. And I'm going to open presents with my family today. And I'm going to celebrate the birth of my Savior. Ain't no humdrum going to steal my joy, because the joy of the Lord is my strength. Try to find the joy instead of the law. Seriously, free yourself with the blood of Jesus. If you did, you would understand how I can consume the information I consume and spit it out and still be like, Jesus. Go watch my husband fight with a brain aneurysm and blood pressure and diabetes, all this nonsense, and I can still be joyful. The reason is because I understand what Jesus is, who he is, and what he did for me. I don't care about the law. No man is going to tell me when I can and cannot worship and how I can and cannot worship. Absolutely not. So you go have a merry, merry Christmas. And I will see you guys on the 26th. God bless you all. I love you so very much. Please like, comment, subscribe. If you can hype it, hype it. Otherwise, I'll see you guys. What day will that be? Friday. Friday. Thank you for your time.